The hair.
I know, it's the full rainbow.
I mean, he's looking good.
He had stylish hair last time. This is, I would say, a step up.
That is so bright, too.
It's fresh.
Yeah. But I mean, a lot of times when people get their hair dyed, it's kind of like more murky. I feel like he would have had to like full on bleach it out.
Probably
did. It would have been a long process. It's looking nice.
Yeah, he did a good job with this one.
I respect it. That's cool.
Shout out his hairdresser.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, like, I'm just going to guess it wasn't a self-service job. Like, I just feel like I had someone do
What
it.
if he did it himself?
You know what? Then I'm even more impressed by Pabu.
Yeah.
You know? I don't even want to, like, guess that he didn't do it. I just feel like he didn't.
Ooh.
And now we're going to see very different game state, right?
Yeah. This is very, very different. But to be fair, Heimer is one of the champions that is actually quite strong in a small ring as well.
Yeah.
So Nocturne is actually something that we did see in some internal play tests when we were messing around with this, because people are thinking, all right, well, you know, how can you metagame this? How can you cheese this? And Nocturne was one of the ideas, given that you can Q spam, your passive helps you to wave clear, and the idea is you should have enough wave clear on Nocturne to survive into the ring, especially if you're going Tiamat build. You're looking to clear waves, you know, reset, and you're trying to actually delay until you have that ultimate, and only fight with the ultimate up, right? Because if they're squished in, you're hoping you can win that 100-0. What I do think that Seiya could look for is actually just a Zhonya's rush, though. Because if you actually have the Zhonya's to deny the ultimate damage and your turret's set up, well, that's a pretty damn good deterrent to that all-in.
Yep, definitely the case. And that's going to be one to watch for. He's already got, you know, the cloth armor, which you're pretty much always going to see in this matchup. Also, I want to say a little surprised to see Electrocute over like a lethal tempo, because I think if you are really fighting your opponent, you're probably going to fight them for a good like 6 auto attacks. Maybe I'm wrong about the read on like how long it takes to deal damage on Nocturne, but I feel like you get more damage out of lethal tempo.
Lethal tempo can be pretty strong. I think it's harder to get value out of, though.
Okay.
You know, if you're worried about getting kited out, if you get grenade slowed or something like this, Electrocute is pretty much guaranteed. Anytime you ult, you're going to get the proc.
RQE is going to do it.
Exactly, right? You can actually Q during the ultimate while you're flying through the air, and then you E as soon as you land, and you've already procced this without even an auto.
Yeah, yeah. Makes sense.
It's very easy to actually proc, and especially if you can look for something like that, and he doesn't have a stopwatch, there is very high potential to actually just get an instant 100-0. You know, a level 6 Nocturne has incredibly high burst.
All right, we'll see if that's going to be coming through here on this one. Of course, team out for the early wave pressures, working pretty well. Seiya gets the easy chance at grabbing the top side health relic. They're going to be traded back and forth. Farm numbers don't really matter, but it's always nice to see a Nocturne laning well against a Heimerdinger. Generally, obviously, a great bully that Heimer is, but yeah, Tiamat Rush. That's all you need, really. If you want to outlane Heimer, just buy a Tiamat.
Yeah, just buy a Tiamat at level 1. Why doesn't anyone do that?
Yeah, at level 3 even. Just have all your spells already.
Yeah, exactly. Just kill him.
Perfect.
Easy.
Rocket Max, of course, coming through for Heimer. That's really the only ability you ever max. The Q rank up is garbage. The E rank up, I think, is just damage. So, of course, that's the build we see. Turret health scales on champion level.
Yeah, Pabu, I'm assuming, is going Q-Max. You know, that really kind of seems like the only viable one there. But you know, I do feel like there is some pressure on Seiya to maybe kind of bully a little bit earlier, unless he is feeling confident that he can win that straight-up all-in, despite Pabu having the ultimate. And Pabu was a guy who was pretty clever about how he kind of climbed the ranks in last year's All-Star. You know, he did upset a lot of players, you know, people not expecting him to be able to take down Faker and guys like this and make it all the way to the finals. And I think Nocturne, bringing that out, shows that he has, you know, really kind of thought this through a bit. And this is, I think, a pretty strong kind of metagamey pick.
Yeah.
Where he's trying to really kind of outthink his opponents and trump them as far as the preparation goes.
Yep, definitely agree as a top champion pick. We'll see if that can come through for him. We've been seeing plenty of Heimer bans from like the other players. Going for the first all-in potentially here. Level 7, but doesn't go for the play. Knows, of course, that Heimer could flash pull him under the turret, go for a stun maybe. Would look pretty good for him. Either way, going to get the reset coming through. Heimer going to grab most of the CS, and we'll see what comes through the next buy. Probably bits of a Duskblade, I'm going to guess.
Oh,
okay, actually, Merc.
Well, he's debating.
Looked at Merc Turret, said actually...
Hexdrinker. I like that.
Going towards... I wouldn't actually finish Maw, by the way. Going from Hexdrinker to Maw is not very gold efficient.
Okay.
Just like, I've done the math a bunch of different times. Like, no, it's still actually horrible. You sit on Hexdrinker and just go into lethality from there.
Oh, so this is actually really interesting. Seiya is going Chain Vest.
Oh, wow.
As well as that Haunting Guise. So, you know, potentially working towards Leandries. So he's not actually going for something like a Zhonya's or a Stopwatch. This is something that becomes effective in an extended trade. I actually think that Stopwatch and Zhonya's is just way more effective in the 100-0 all-in, though, because you can actually Stopwatch and immune the ultimate damage itself. And that is such a big deal. Not only that, but you can also use your Stopwatch to actually immune the fear, which generally speaking, if you got feared in the 1v1 against Nocturne, you've already lost.
Well, this is going to be a fear. Nice spell. She actually blocks the stun, chases it for plenty of damage. walks him back out with about 40 HP left, then goes back in for the ulti, trades R for R, walks back out. Turret does decent damage though on Pabu.
Okay.
As bad for wear as Seiya is.
Yeah, so they traded Barrier for Ignite. The Ignite should be up a bit sooner for Pabu. He did use it earlier, and I believe it's a little bit lower cooldown.
Yeah, very slightly.
So maybe a window there for him. But Pabu does have him pretty low, and with that passive, you can actually regen up quite a bit. Seiya doesn't have any more health potions, so there is risk of actually getting poked down by these Qs, these Dustbringers, if you are not able to dodge them. Yeah, he's getting pretty dangerously low. I mean, there is no stopwatch, so if you get hit by another Q, I think Pabu can actually just like flash and kill you.
Yeah, actually, unless he manages to land the flash away in time, right? And you're stuck under the turret without a target hit, but you're right. Q flash might be enough for a kill, so it's going to be forcing a pretty rough reset here.
This could be 2 turret plates easily. So the first one is 1 auto. The second one, maybe he even stays around for 3. Remember, this is 1,700 health. I hope I'm saying that number right, but
I think you're right.
I think it's 1,700 versus SR's 3K. So even though he's taking big chunks out of it, it's actually not an incredible amount of damage. You can kill through that pretty quick. And this is another interesting buy here from Seiya. So actually getting kind of pieces of a Gunblade, he's going to be finishing with components. And when you're building all these different components, you're not actually going to have enough gold for fully completed items. And it will be Pabu just sitting on the Hex Drinker, building some lethality. So he is going to have mostly components also. He's going to be on Merc Treads. Pretty helpful if you do actually get tagged with that grenade. Obviously, you're going to be trying to spell shield the grenade, but not always going to be able to get it.
And keep in mind, we're only a few waves away from sudden death. Keep in mind, sudden death happens usually about level 11. They're both 10. So in about 1 minute, that ring is going to spawn, and the ring closes over the course of 1 minute. So when it spawns, you have time to recall basically immediately and get back into lane. So we'll see maybe one more shopping trip. So 30-second warning. I mean, I would probably recall for a long sword, but I also want to make sure I get level 11.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's probably worth you basically have to go back to base right away. If you're Pabu and you can actually clear this wave, then you have a small timing to be able to get back to base, buy another little bit if you can. We'll see if he does decide to actually look for that reset. I think it would be pretty smart, but it seems like he's just going to stay around. And at this point, you don't really have much of a chance to go back.
All right, lands the Q poke. That's actually pretty valuable. I would take that over a longsword, so I think that was actually the right play. 11 for both now. And
I think that was actually the health pack buff. That was the 20% current health damage buff on that. So just looking for poke. And if you can keep Seiya's turrets whittled down, the potential all-in is going to be much harder for him. Seiya does have a pretty interesting set of components here. I do tend to favor the itemization for Pabu pretty heavily. I think that he's setting on a really good kind of set of items here.
I certainly like Hex Drinker more than I like Chain Vest.
Yeah.
I think as an item overall, as the wave clear continues. And keep in mind, if you wave clear, your opponent has to tank the minions in your wave because they can't run back and let the turret help. So, like, one more Q and Heimer's stuck inside the turrets. Here comes the flash in for plenty of damage. Barrier comes on top. A lot of fights back and forth, but Pabu's running out of health. Gets the fear, flashes them out, knocks down the turrets, but where can he go? The minions! The minions will win by themselves if he can land one Q. Needs to land some poke. Still a little bit low, knocking on the minions. Where can Heimer go?
Oh!
Woo! Pabu knocks him down, takes him the first round.
That was so close. Seiya did land the grenade stun on top of one turret plus his ulted turret. Almost enough to take him down, but the Hex Drinker, the spell shield, as well as that vamp, able to sustain Pabu through that. And it all came down to that last spell, that last Q, taking down Heimer. This was incredibly close. So Pabu pops the ultimate, he loses vision. So he flashes into the brush to get right on top. He uses the barrier, uses the spell shield, but Seiya did a really good job of actually waiting it out. Unfortunately for him, as the grenade stun landed, he got feared. So it's a full-on retreat for Seiya. Had he not stepped into that brush though, forcing the flash, this would not have even been close because it could have just been a flash follow for Pabu. But just the very edge of that Q did connect, and it looked like his grenade hit too. So this really was so damn close. All down to the Q, and Pabu, waiting for that cooldown. You can see
he's at 140
right as it's up.
Yeah, the grenade, I don't know if it would have been lethal damage, but that should have been rank 3E. It would have been rank 3E at 121 HP. So like if the Q doesn't land, Pabu's dead. So Seiya was, literally a 1/10 of a second from winning that one.
Yeah.
Right? Played it out pretty well. The health bar just high enough to survive it, but at the end of the day, Pabu moves forward.
Yeah, very, very close there. I wonder, if Seiya could have done a little bit different itemization, this sort of thing to actually make the difference. I think he might have been able to win that had he itemized a little bit differently. But, in that final 1v1, he did play it quite well. Forcing the flash into the brush just to get vision for the ultimate was big because, had he not done that, as soon as Seiya flashes away, it would have been a flash follow and kill him off. So a really close